Hello everyone, GoldenNova here. I seem to be making a habit of making these live reacts, so I don't see any reason to stop now. I don't have any particular history with Fire Kings. I guess they were around, I believe, when I was playing Boojins, and they've had some minor usage in Cosmo, though hopefully, though I love the deck dearly, maybe this will allow Fire Kings to be its own fully fledged deck. Really quick before we get into the reacts though, if you're watching this, it's likely either late Monday or early Tuesday, in which case, make sure you swing on down by my Twitch. It's going to be 4 p.m. Central. We're going live. We're going to be raising money for Games for Love. It's a charity that's there to help get games and technology to kids in hospitals to help make their stay a bit more bearable. So, that out of the way, done my self-plug, let's get into our new not Fire Fist. I keep wanting to say Fire Fist because that's the fire thing that I focus on. We are playing Fire King Deity Garunix Eternity, a fire pyro XYZ monster. Now that's a hazy flame. That's not a Fire King. Requiring 2 or more generic level 8 monsters. Okay. So there's possibility to splash this. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can destroy all other monsters on the field. That makes sense. You can attach a material from this card, target a spell or trap card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack. If this card with material is destroyed, you can special summon a Fire King monster from your grave, up to the number of materials this card had. So you could summon Garunix again, though it's just going to be a big body. But getting more Fire Kings back into rotation means that their effects can be reactivated, which is really cool. The fact that it blows up all other monsters enables your other Fire Kings because their effects activate when destroyed by any card effect, including your own. And the fact that it has back row removal means that it can fill both the roles of Garunix and Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, which isn't technically a Fire King monster, but sees play in the deck sometimes if you need a heavy storm. This lets you deal with back row, and it makes them a little bit bigger every time you do it, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. What I like here is that because it's generic, though, and the destroy all other monsters effect is not mandatory, this is a board wipe or an optional board wipe tool for any rank 8 deck, which is cool. Plus, it gives them back row removal. I think that's pretty sick. And it technically, revives itself if it still has a material left, so that's not bad. Sacred Fire King Garunix, level 8 Fire Winged Beast, 2700 attack, 1700 defense. If your monsters whose original attribute is fire is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or hand even if not. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can destroy a fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster in your hand, deck, or face up on the field except a copy of this card. And if you do, this card gains attack equal to half the attack of the monster, the monster destroyed had until the end of this turn. Oh, that's actually completely bonkers. So this, what it essentially does is when you summon this, you can trigger any other Fire King effect, and for the turn, Sacred Fire King Garunix gets even bigger. And then that triggers every time it's normal or special summoned, and it can be special summoned all the gosh darn time when your fire monsters are destroyed, because guess what? You're going to be destroying them a lot. This is extremely powerful, and I think you can summon this with, I'll have to take a look, but the last structure deck they made for this had a card where you just summon out a fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast out of nowhere if you didn't control a monster. I forget if there was a level restriction on there, but that's pretty good. Fire King High Avatar Kieran. Okay, so we're bringing Kieran back in a big way. A lot of horses, a lot of magic horses going on right now. 2400 attack, 200 defense, so it fits under Rekindling. Level 8 Fire Beast monster. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard as a quick effect, you can destroy one other fire monster in your hand or face up on your field, and if you do, special summon this card. Neat. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Fire King monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can destroy one card. Then you can destroy one card on the field, also optional. So you can enable another Fire King effect. You can pop one of your opponent's cards. And you just get to summon a Fire King from your hand or graveyard, which could include... well, I guess it doesn't have to include Sacred Fire King Garunix, because from hand or graveyard, it's already going to handle it itself. So you just get a different one. I also like that it's a quick effect in hand during the main phase. So if you're going second, you can activate this at any point during your opponent's main phase and get your game plan started essentially during turn 0. So that's pretty nifty. Sanctuary of the Flame Kings. This is the last one. The rest are reprints here. Shoutouts to Bonfire Colossus. Onslaught of the Fire Kings. Remind me to double check this in just a second. That's the one that I'm thinking of. Okay. Sanctuary of the Flame Kings. It's a continuous spell, which is good because Fire King Island already takes up the field spell slot. When this card resolves, you can place a Fire King Island from your deck face up in your field zone. It's like they read my mind. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Once per turn, if a card in your field zone would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy a fire monster in your hand or face-up field instead. And once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon a Fire Xyz monster using only Fire King monsters you control as material. Huh. Any Fire Xyz monster. Interesting. So right off the bat, it gets its access to Fire King Island. The fact that it gives Fire King Island protection is actually really huge because for those who are uninitiated, if Fire King Island, it's their field spell, one of their effects is if it's destroyed as a mandatory effect. If it's destroyed or banished, those two things, you have to destroy all monsters you control. Now, that can enable your monsters because then they'll just trigger all their on-destruction effects. But sometimes you might not want to do that because you want to keep your board intact. So Sanctuary gives you a way to do that, essentially by triggering a different Fire King monster, though it can destroy fire monsters in general, so that's pretty big. And the fact that it allows you to Xyz summon a Fire Xyz monster when your opponent special summons means that you can drop the Garunix Xyz monster out of nowhere to board wipe them if you have the 2 level 8 monsters. It doesn't say that it just uses like a Fire King monster you control. You have to use the material. Yeah, in fact, you can only use Fire King monsters. That's about it. Interesting suite of cards here. Of course, presumably we'll have many more. Once we get into the full set list of this, we currently don't have that. Right now, there's a couple things I need to confirm really quickly, because already I have a huge positive idea, positive feelings about these cards so far. Okay, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon a Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck. Its effects are negated and it's destroyed during the end phase. Okay, I forgot about that part. So I would use this a lot in Gladiator Beasts to summon Laquari, just to get the ball rolling and help get our materials done. But it's obviously a lot better in this deck because while the on-summon effects are negated, it does destroy it during the end phase, which means that you will get their effects in the graveyard, because while their effects on field are negated, that doesn't mean their effects in grave are negated. So that's a huge jumpstart for the deck. And this triggers just when summoned in any way. So you can summon this with Onslaught, and then it just explodes. It doesn't do anything when it hits the board because its effects are negated. But it will be in the graveyard for when another fire monster is destroyed. Presumably, another way you could trigger is with Circle of the Fire Kings, which they are including. That's a really huge one. I believe it just destroys a fire monster you control to special summon a fire monster in your graveyard, which synergizes amazingly with this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this crops up in battle phases to deal that last point of damage for game, and or summoning new big Garunix. New big Garunix. There we go. The only other thing I want to check out is, what is our Fire Xyz Monster Pool looking like? What are our options here? So obviously we have the one that we just saw, the Badland Boxer ones. I don't think we want to make Cheat Commissioner. I don't think we want to make Lion Emperor. I think Tiger King might be available, but its effect to set a fire formation isn't really that impactful. Its ability to negate a whole bunch of cards is kind of cool, but only works on Beast Warriors and isn't like a thing you can trigger on Xyz summon. So if you use it during your opponent's turn, you're not getting any value out of it. I don't think Giant Trainer is going to I don't think it's going to benefit from that effect, but I mean, if you can get enough level 8s, I mean, people have used Giant Trainer for worse. We don't have dinosaurs, so we can't make any of the Evolsars. We could make Gigantic Champion Sargis. That's a generic. The Gunkan Suships, those don't work. I mean, they work, but why would we even summon any of them? Hazy Flames, we need level 6s for Basilatris. We need Pyros for Vixen, but funnily enough, most of our monsters aren't Pyros. We can make Shangri-Ira, incredible. We can make Levitain, folks. We figured out the connection of Fire Kings to generators. It's right here. It was here all along. I'm just kind of scrolling through these. None of these are looking... Oh, you could Crooked Cook on your opponent's turn, you know? By using the effect of a continuous card. So you'd have to activate the effect so that it could be immune. Great stuff. Amazing stuff. I guess Crooked Cook is funny because you can trigger your Fire King effects by popping your own monsters. That's not outside the realm of possibility, but I don't want to get too focused on the too wild of effects. Yeah, so our pool for Fire Xyz monsters I don't think are exceptionally good, but thankfully they gave us a good Xyz monster to Xyz into, and of course, as the pool of monsters expands, eventually we'll get more Fire Xyz monsters, and maybe Fire Kings will get more options, on top of options that we may not even know yet. This is only the first taste of the onslaught of the Fire Kings restructure. This is one of those structure decks that they're remastering from the olden days, and I am suitably impressed. There's a lot to like here. Board destruction, easy to summon boss monsters that trigger your effects, things that let you play during turn 0 in Kieran. Sanctuary of the Fire Kings accentuates a play style that already existed in a really good way. I think the future for Fire... This is just the year of the Fire attribute, right? Pyros are feasting, I guess. Excellent work from the designers on this one. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the set brings forth. And I guess I want to hear now from all of you. There's some of you out there who are Fire King aficionados. Is there anything that I missed out on in this video? Are there any weird combos that Kieran enables that I have yet to make their way into my wiggly brain wrinkles? Let me know in the comments, and I will see all of you soon. Make sure you check out Twitch tomorrow, 4 p.m., Tuesday, July 11th, streaming for charity. Show up, help out a good cause. And there's also like a team aspect. There's a red team versus a blue team, and I want our team to win, actually. So we'll figure out something fun to do when red team wins, because I know they're going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. See all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode was brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. When you want to protect your cards with the power of dragon scales, get some sweet lore for them, and support the channel, check out my link in the description to get started. Today's episode was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commander Green Knight, Nebula Navigator's 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Andrew Newman, A Random Pup, Avi Chali, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Danny Bound, Divine Dragon Felgrand 4123, Eric, Aaron the World Breaker, Frankie, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh, Gloomba 331, Great Big Pillock, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Iskander 711, John, Jordan, Julius Sneezer, Mana Charge, Marluxia's a Girl, Nathan Vig, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sammy Haim, Sir Knight JCB, Skybuster Leo, Sophie, apparently, the Fresh Prince of Con Air, the Wizard Moose and Xander Wolfensberger, Cosmic Crusaders Almento 5010, Ariel Kersey, Bear Sharktopus Studios, Beluga Masta, Blue Gem, Chaz Ghost, Chris Kessler, Drachenwald, Emily, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, In the House Like Carpet, Inblink, Gesture Designs, Kale the Dragon, Carp, Kevon Public, King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh, Lord Whoop-de-Doo, Manga Pages, Marion James E. Picata, Matt Simmons, Mega Combi, Michael Shimabukuro, Nadia McCarthy, Nitromo, Ruxeth Sarani, Shizuki Nijimura, Star-Lord 777, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, Tucker Ordorn, and Zaldreka, as well as the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to be a part of these credits, get my videos early, join in on the monthly custom card review stream, and, of course, support the channel, please consider checking out the link to my Patreon in the description or becoming a YouTube member.